Hey there, welcome back. My name is Chris, and I am a local realtor with Keller Realty. Today, we are going to talk about why waiting to buy a home could cost you a small fortune. Many people right now are trying to figure out if now is the best time for them to buy for them and their family. Potential buyers are asking themselves, is now the best time to buy a house? I could say yes and shout it from the mountaintops like so many other realtors do. But the reality is that there are a couple of things that you really need to consider before you say yes to the house or to looking for a house, or before you just write it off altogether. To determine if you should buy now or wait for another year, there are two very important questions that you should be asking yourself. Number one, do I think that home values, I being you, do I think that home values will be higher a year from now? And number two, do I think that mortgage rates, interest rates, will be higher a year from now? Let's take a look at those two questions a little bit more in depth, and then you guys can decide for yourselves what the best option is for you, buying now or waiting until next year. Will home prices be higher a year from now? Well, the projections from the industry experts predict that increases will continue at an average of 7.7% from now to the next year. So values, according to them, will be higher by 7.7% a year from now. In the Tampa Bay area, however, we have seen double-digit increases for many, many months. And if those double-digit increases continue like we have been seeing all year, then that could be a lot higher than 7.7% next year. For instance, in my last monthly market update, we saw that the average increase in the Tampa Bay area was 17.9% from June of last year. That's a big increase. So let's look at an example of how an increase in prices might affect your purchasing power a year from now. Let's look at how an average increase of 17.9% in the Tampa Bay area affects the value of a home that is currently priced at $301,800, which is our median sales price in the Tampa Bay area in June of 2021. So as we see, a price of $301,800 right now would have a down payment of $30,180 and a mortgage amount, that's a 10% down payment, and a mortgage amount of $271,620. If prices only increase at 7.7%, the value of that home a year from now would be $325,039 with a 10% down payment of $32,504 and a mortgage of $292,535. And at a double-digit increase of 17.9%, that same home would be valued at $355,822 a year from now with a 10% down payment of $35,582 and a mortgage amount of $320,240. So how does that break down for you as the buyer? At a moderate increase of 7.7%, that would mean that you have to save an additional $2,324 for your down payment. And you would be borrowing an additional $20,915 on your mortgage. And if we have a year-over-year increase of 17.9% or thereabouts like we've seen recently, that means that you will have to come up with an additional $5,402 cash for your down payment if you were to wait a year to buy. And you would be borrowing more than $48,000 more if you wait a year to buy. Okay, so the next thing, now that your mind is blown about those prices, the next thing we need to consider is the mortgage rate compared now to next year. So right now, mortgage rates are hovering right around 2.9% for your conventional 30-year mortgage. Most experts believe that interest rates are going to increase as the economy recovers or continues to recover. And the average of those predictions is about 3.6%. So if we average it out, we're saying in a year from now, mortgage rates could be right around 3.6% instead of the 2.9% where we're at right now. That doesn't seem like a heck of a whole lot. Those of us who have been in the industry for a while, we remember when they were 6%, and your parents, if you're younger, if you're in your 20s or your early 30s, your parents remember when they were a lot higher in the 80s, and I know everyone's going, 4%, you should have seen it back in 1984 when it was 12% or whatever it was. I wasn't old enough to remember that in 1984. Anyways. So what does that mean for you if both of these things happen? If prices increase, which we expect they will, and if mortgage rates increase, which we expect they will, how would this affect you as a buyer if you were to wait a year? Let's take a look. If both of those increase, obviously you can expect to have to save more money for your down payment and to have a higher monthly mortgage payment for two reasons. Number one, you'll have a higher interest rate. And number two, you'll be borrowing on more money. You'll have a bigger mortgage to pay off. So let's take a look at how the different scenarios might play out for you with our average $301,800 home in the Tampa Bay area. If both increase at the rate that we're increasing prices here in Tampa, you're potentially looking at a higher mortgage payment every month of $324 more than what you would probably be able to pay right now. And even if we have a moderate increase in sales prices or in home values, that's still going to cost you about an additional $200 a month if you wait a year from now to buy instead of buying now. I can't tell you whether or not you should buy a house right now. That's going to depend on your individual circumstances. However, if the question you're asking yourself is when I should buy a house, not if I should buy a house, the financial benefits of buying now make it clear that it's a lot better choice to purchase your home sooner rather than later and waiting, potentially costing you thousands and thousands of dollars, especially when you add in the amount of equity that your home will gain over the next year. Could be in the six figures that you're losing out on. That's a lot of money. But again, it's going to depend on you and your individual circumstances. If you'd like to talk to me a little bit more about that, give me a call at the phone number. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you have. If you enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends and family and subscribe to the video. And for that really elusive YouTube algorithm, please give us a thumbs up and leave me a comment below, even if it's just a thumbs up in the comments. And of course, like always, have yourselves a fantastic day. Thanks for spending some time with me. I appreciate it.